Donald Trump has just proposed something that might not dominate headlines, but is deeply significant in the evolution of the United States as the world's leading empire. What I'm talking about is the proposal for a 50-year mortgage, a loan term that will outlast more than half the average American's life. In this video, I'm going to explain why this should serve as a massive warning sign and how it proves that the United States is following the same self-destructive path that brought down empires throughout history, including that of ancient Rome. Those who do not study history are destined to repeat it. So if you want to see the signs for yourself, understand the patterns of collapse, and how Africa can position itself in the most optimal way as a result, then this video is for you. If you don't know me, my name is TJ, I'm Nigerian and British mixed. And on this channel, we talk about African geopolitics. You may be aware that the United States has been in the middle of a government shutdown for more than 40 days now. News broke last night that Donald Trump was able to finally end that shutdown and open things back up. Now, these shutdowns have occurred under both Democratic and Republican administrations, from George Bush Sr. to Barack Obama. They happen because Congress repeatedly fails to agree on spending bills, often clashing over how to manage or reduce America's ever-growing national debt. You see, this isn't about one president or another's policy. It's about the system that has become mathematically unsustainable, almost pyramid-like in its structure. Sooner or later, the runaway train, that is United States debt, will inevitably hit a wall. Each time the government reaches its debt ceiling, every president finds a different method to fix it short-term. Yet history shows that over the last 3 decades, not a single leader has been able to truly solve it. Meanwhile, ordinary Americans face the same problem on a personal level, buried under their own mountain of debt. Now, call me crazy, but increasing debt, which is what they're doing with the debt ceiling, doesn't seem like the best way to reduce debt problems. Still, that's exactly what Washington continues to do: print more money and create more debt. The government feeds its own addiction. The population follows suit. Both levels trapped in the same cycle. So what's Trump's answer to the debt issues of his population? Indeed, just like I've described, he's going to open the door to an even greater and deeper debt system. A 50-year mortgage might sound like a bold way to make ownership more accessible to more Americans, but the truth is, it's not a solution. Make no mistake, it's a symptom of economic decay. The United States is drowning in over $38 trillion of national debt, and the cracks are now impossible to hide. A 50-year mortgage is not about helping its people, it's about keeping a collapsing system alive for just a little longer. This kind of policy signals desperation. Many of you have dropped comments asking how you can support this channel, even offering to donate or help financially. Until recently, I had no way to make this possible. But now through my Substack, it's never been easier for you to lend me some support. There's a free tier where you'll get 1 email per week, and for just $5 a month, about the price of a nice coffee, you'll receive a daily written update from all of my content, everything I produce. I'll be engaging with those of you who join, asking your thoughts on how to serve you and the continent better. Sometimes my videos do get demonetized, and there's also a small chance, as we saw with the platform Africa stream, that a channel like this could be deplatformed. Even if the worst happens, we can regroup, rebuild, and keep pushing forward. We don't want any third party controlling this message, so with email backing us up, we can communicate directly. Thank you in advance for signing up. I look forward to connecting with you, not just on YouTube, but via email as well. America's economy is addicted to debt, not only at the government level, but at every level of society. Instead of confronting that reality, leaders like Trump are stretching the repayment timeline so that the pain doesn't hit immediately, or at least within their term. It's the financial equivalent to kicking the can down the road. But when a nation keeps pushing its problems into the future, that future eventually arrives. The Roman Empire learned that lesson the hard way. Rome financed endless wars, overextended its military, and printed money to keep its empire running. Inflation exploded, trust in government collapsed, and ordinary citizens were taxed into misery. The United States today is showing the same patterns: endless military spending, trillion-dollar deficits, and a refusal to slow down. Trump's 50-year mortgage is not a sign of strength. It's a red flag that the American economy is too weak to stand without debt. The government borrows to fund wars and global dominance, while its citizens borrow just to survive. That's the exact cycle that brought down Rome. And the problem runs deep. Let's take a look at student loans, for example, which now weigh down millions of people's lives. A college degree can cost 10, 20 years, or even the entire lifespan of a person's income. It doesn't just stop there. The same logic extends to cars. Everyday items now financed over absurd timeframes. Listen to this.
How much did you put down?
1,000.
All right, how much was your monthly payment?
It's 389.
Okay. How long are you financing for?
267 months.
All right, congratulations, okay?
That's 22 years for a car likely worth around $25,000 or less. By the time she finishes paying the loan plus the interest, she'd have spent over $100,000. This isn't just financial planning, it's systematic exploitation. America has built an economy that feeds off its own citizens, draining their labor, energy, and wealth to sustain the illusion of prosperity. Every American aspires to at least two of the three major debt traps: car loans, education, and home ownership, all of which now are tied to predatory lending systems. Of course, a person could try and avoid them, attend a cheaper college, or skip college entirely, buy a modest home, or live outside of a mortgage system, or drive an inexpensive car. But the thing is, those choices run counter to American psyche, the pursuit of the American dream itself. For most Americans, that dream includes at least two and often three of these debt traps over their lifetime. They may not have slave plantations anymore, but these are haunting parallels between decades of indebted servitude and the loss of freedom that overlap with the very principles of slavery which America was built on. You see, a system like this ends up incentivizing citizens to actually opt out of the American dream, increasingly seeing it as a nightmare. They are losing interest in building and improving their country, in striving to be model citizens. Delusioned and overburdened, they become vulnerable to extreme ideologies, whether right-wing or left-wing, religious, socialist, or capitalist. And when you look at the bigger picture, the parallels with Rome become terrifyingly clear. Both empires stretched themselves thin, both refused to reform, and both used expansion and aggression to mask that decline. America's global military bases of some 750 to 800 located all over the world mirrors Rome's outreach in its final days. The difference is, this time, the empire's decline will play out on the global stage, with Africa squarely in its sights. As America's power weakens, it will seek new resources, new markets, and new leverage points. That desperation will likely make it more aggressive, less diplomatic, and far more predatory with its foreign policy. Even now, Washington tries to project confidence, calling itself the world's greatest economy and pretending to sit comfortably at the top. But behind that image is panic, the kind of panic that leads empires to make reckless moves. And that's why Africa must stay alert right now. As the United States enters its own slow-motion collapse, it will attempt to pull others down with it or exploit them to stay afloat. Africa must not fall for this. We can learn from their mistakes and chart our own path. The West's addiction to debt and domination is a warning, and it's definitely not a model to follow. Africa's power lies in its self-reliance and its controlling of its own resources. It should refuse to sell out its own future over borrowed money. As America repeats the mistakes of Rome, Africa must prepare for what comes next. Today, that means embracing a multipolar world, strengthening global trade, building self-reliance, and working towards a unified continent. Western systems have already proven to be harmful to those that embrace them, simply because they appear modern, polished, and full of promise. So I would love to know what you guys think about this. Do you agree with me that we need to monitor what we adopt from the West and what we don't? Please give me your thoughts in the comments. But if you have nothing to say, would it be too much if I asked you to write the words, "Let's not repeat historical mistakes"? It just lets me know that you watched the video to the end, you like what I'm doing, you want me to continue. Thank you so much for watching today, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.
Thank you.